Okay, I'm going to let you have some time to internalize this git make changes, git add, git commit cycle, right? And we are not going to touch that for a bit. Now I'm going to do jQuery, right? I promise you some interesting things, and yeah, here it is. So I want you to go to Sublime and go to index.html, right? And you can see that we have this list of things here, right? This UL, which stands for unordered list, and then within the unordered list we have LI, which is list item, and we have several list items. And if you go to Chrome, you notice that these are the list items, right? They have the bullet points on it, right? And so what I want you to go to main.js now, and below this, right, or above it, whichever. I'm gonna do okay. So above it, so you can see. I want you to say jQuery, go get me the list item, any one of them, right? And on click, right? When I click on it, do something. Basically the same. It looks the same as the image, the earlier function we have, just that now we are using click and now it's a list item, right? Okay? All good? So now I want you to go to index.html first, because I forgot to do something. I want you to scroll all the way up. And I'm going to add some CSS to this file, right? And you'll see why in a bit. So after title, I want you to press enter. I want you to type style followed by a tab. Okay? Followed by a tab. And you'll see this. Right? So again, style followed by a tab. Of course you can just type this out in full if your typing is really fast, but I'm lazy and this is what I do. So anyway, open the tag, and in it I want you to just follow me, right? Type .done, which is basically a class for done. Open brace, and I want to style this class. I'm going to type text decoration line 2. Save the file. Right. So I repeat. Go to index.html. Go to the head. Create a style element, a style tag. In it, do .done, which is style the class of done with text decoration line 2. Right. The dashes and everything is important. Okay, so I want you to go to Chrome right now and refresh the page. And there shouldn't be anything different, right? Because we don't have the class done on our page. We only have class boo-boo. We did jQuery when the list is clicked, when li is clicked, do something, and in the something we have nothing there, right? In our main.js we have nothing there. So nothing really special is happening. Okay, I should stop doing this. Anyway, so that's not interesting. Let's go back to main.js. And this will start to get interesting really soon, right? So when the list li is clicked, right, I want to do li dot add class done. Save. And if you haven't noticed by now, jQuery has this kind of like camel casing, right? The second word is capitalized in the function, like fade out, slide up. And this is, you'll see this throughout its functions. And yeah, so add class, you basically capitalize the C, and then we add class done. Right. So let's save this, and let's go to Chrome, and refresh the page. And now we click on one of the list items, right? They all get the class of done. Right? They all get strike through. Pretty cool, right? But if you think about it, this is not very good, right? I have 6 list li elements there. I click on one, all of them get the class. I don't really want that, right? I want the one that I clicked to get the class. I don't want all of them to get the class, right? And so this brings us to a very cool thing in jQuery. I want you to go to main.js, and in it, I'm going to teach you something known as this. Right? Just take my word for it. This is going to be magic, but after a while, it's going to be less magic. So, say jQuery, find this, and this actually means when the list element, when li is clicked, right? This part here, when li is clicked, run this code, and this thing here basically says what is clicked, like this thing that is clicked, $ bracket this within the call. I'm not sure if this makes sense to you. This is some sorcery that I initially couldn't get anyway. Yeah. But anyway, let's try it out and you'll see the difference. Okay, so when li is clicked, run this code, and within this code we have this special thing called this, and we say jQuery, go find this and add class done to it. Right? And let's remove the bottom one, because that is not very helpful, right? I didn't really like that. So let's go to Chrome and refresh the page. And this time, right, if you click on one of the list element, one of the li elements, only that one gets the class. Which is pretty cool, right? Now, not all of them get the class at the same time. One of them get it. And if I can do it for all of them, right? This is pretty nice, right? If you look at the code again, it's basically when you click on li, run this code, but in this code jQuery says I'll give you this special thing called this, and this is basically the exact thing that was clicked, right? Not all of them, the exact thing that was clicked. Okay, and if you look at the page now, okay, I do it 6 times and I get bored, and then the page, like, there's nothing else I can do. Like, what would be cool is if I could click it and have it add the class, and click it again and check if it has the class. And if it has the class, remove it, right? If it doesn't have the class, add it. And then it'll be totally cool. Then I'll probably have like a to-do list kind of thing. Right? Okay, so let's do that. So go into this, go in here, right? And I'm going to write if this dot has class done. So if it has class done, I want to remove the class, right? This dot remove class done. Right. If not, I want to add class done. Right. Basically just type this. Okay, so this is too much magic for one time, so I'm going to type it out. So if it has class done, do this. If not, I want to add class, right? Add class done. Right. So think about it. This should work, right? If it doesn't have the class, I'm going to add it, right? If it has the class, I'm going to remove it. And let's save it and see in action. So refresh the page, and let's try it, right? Let's get rid of the rest of the things. And let's click on one. Right, it's quite cool, right? Can you all get this on your computer? So I can check things off the roadmap. Right, if I misclick something, I can click it again, it removes the class. Anyone has problems here? So I need to apologize that I'm using this if-else thing. But seriously, without this, right, you can't do cool stuff. Right, like this. Now we have a totally legit web page, right? All good? Okay, so before this, right, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to teach you something on the side. Right? Let's say I'm trying to follow, and being a noob. Wait, you don't need to imagine. Okay, so I being a noob, I miss out something, right? I made some syntax error here, blah 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 blah. Okay, and then I save it, and then I inspect my code, and okay, everything looks fine. Let me go to my browser. I refresh, and it doesn't work, right? Because I made some errors in my main.js, correct? And now what I want you to do is to go to your console, right? View developer JavaScript console, or F12 for Windows, and you see that the console says that you have an error somewhere, and it even tells you which line, right? Look at that, main.js 6. Right? So this is really useful when you're starting out. If you make a small error, like you miss out a single parenthesis, it tells you, oh, on line 6 there's some problem. If you go to your file, line 6, there is obviously some problem there, right? And so let's fix that. Okay, so now it's fixed. And then if you go back to Chrome and we refresh, it doesn't complain anymore. So this time it should work, right? And it works, correct? And so now, basically, we have reached. Okay, so these are three things, right? Whether it has the class, whether it has the class is here. Then if it has the class, we want to remove it. If it doesn't have the class, we want to add it, right? Okay, so I feel pretty good now. I think this pretty cool, and this is a good point to stop. So we are done with diving in. This is the basics. This kind of adds the basics, a little bit on the intermediate part. And I want you to go to your command line now. Right, it's time to do a backup. Right, go to your command line. And now if you do git status, you see that, oh, git says you have modified 2 files. Over here. And if you remember the git workflow I was trying to sell you was to modify files. We did that already. Git add, and then git commit. So let's do that. So I'm going to type git add dot, and I'm going to say git commit -m and a message there. I'm going to say that I'm a jQuery ninja, and I press enter. Right. And then now if I do git log, something more interesting is there for me. There's 2 things now. Initial commit, and I'm a jQuery ninja. Anyone having problems here? All good, right? And now if you do git status, right, you can see that there's nothing to commit. We just committed. And I think from here you can see roughly how the flow will be like, right? We're going to make some changes. We come back here, we do git add dot, git commit. We repeat the whole cycle. We go add more changes. We come back here, we do git commit, git add, then git commit. It's the same thing, right? Every time we back out our changes when we are done, right? So now this is cool. I'm going to show you something more. I'm going to go to the next part because we kind of had the installation thing, and let's go to the next part. I want you to go to Chrome right now, and in your browser, I want you to go to github.com. Right. Let me. So you go to github.com, right? You press the big blue button there. You're going to sign up for an account now. And for those of you who want to, you can sign up for a paid account, but I'm just going to go for the free account. Okay, at the top there, is everyone's internet working? Fine. So go click on create a free account and choose a cool name like Ducking Hipster or something. I don't know. Yeah, choose a cool name. Create an account now. Like literally, I need to create an account now to show you something. Okay, so I'm going to create an account. I'm going to create Ducking Hipster. Great. And enter your email. Follow along. I need to create an account now. You'll see why in a bit. Right. Password. And create an account. Okay, so you should end up in this. Your new cool GitHub account. Facebook is too mainstream. Is everyone there? Anyone still signing up? Still picking a good username? Maybe ladiesman217. No? Transformers? No? Okay, anyway. Okay, so moving on, right? I want you to click on this top button here, which says create a new repo. And what we're going to try to do now is to create a repository, right? Is to git init on GitHub. Right, basically to go to GitHub and git init there. So I want you to create a new repository. This button here. Right, with the book and a plus sign. Oh, wow. Okay. Yep, click that. And you need to choose a name. You could choose the name as tripping dash lana. Okay. Or you could just do git and jQuery workshop. Either's fine. And then in the description, you can do git and jQuery boilerplate. Or you can leave it blank if you want.
Can you explain to them why GitHub is important?
Not yet.
Oh. Yeah, by the way.
Okay, so I hope you are following along because this is the really cool part. Like, yeah, this is the really cool part. I know I keep saying the parts are cool, but this is the really cool part. Okay, so then public. Click public. And then click create repository. Just exact same settings. Exact same settings and click create repository. Right. And GitHub shows you this. And of interest to us in this page is the last part here, push an existing repository from the command line. Right? We have an existing repository on our computer, right? And we just did git init on GitHub, in a computer somewhere in GitHub. And so now it gives us the option to push an existing repository. It basically gives us the chance to push our code to GitHub and make a copy of it there. Right. So this at the bottom of the page you should see this. If you don't, please raise your hand, then we can come to you. And it gives us some instructions here. And let's just do that. Let's copy the first line first. Copy the first line. Copy. Right. Go to your terminal. Go to your command line, sorry. Go to your command line and paste it there. Okay? And then hit enter. I'll explain why in a bit. So you look at this command, right? Look at the first 4 words. The rest of it is not very important. Look at the first 4 words. Git remote at origin. So what this says is git, I want you to I want you to know of this remote repository. Somewhere, someplace else, I have this Git repository. I want to add it into I want to tell you about it, right? I have this remote repository somewhere. I want to call it origin. I want to add it. Okay? And this is a remote, which means it's somewhere else. Right? And the address is what's behind it. But that's not really important right now. Okay, so this basically says git remote. I want to add a remote. I want to name it origin. Okay? So far so good, right? Go back to GitHub and let's copy the next instruction. Paste it in. And if you hit enter, you'll see something like this. So type your username. What's my username? Oh, ducking hipster. Oh, hipster. Oops. So type your username. Type your password. You should not see anything when you type the password because that'll be strange, right? Like you see your password in plain text. Anyway, you shouldn't see anything, it will be there. Press enter. And then Git should do something, it should tell you some stuff that you don't really need to know for now. And then finally you should get back control. Everyone got this? So copy and paste the second command and press enter. Log in accordingly as when prompted. So you are not ducking hipster, right? You probably create some other account. Enter the account name. When they prompt you for the password, just type it in. Don't worry, there won't be anything shown on the screen. Just type it in. Press enter, and if you did it correctly, you should see this. Right? Anyone stuck? All good. Okay, so this part, let me explain a bit on what is happening here. Basically, this second command, right? This second command is the first two words is important. Actually, yeah, this command is git push, right? And basically, it says git push to origin. If you read it, right, it says git push to origin. And what's happening here is you are saying git. I want to push to the remote called origin. I want to push code there, right? Basically, I want to push whatever code I have here to origin, correct? And then it authenticates you, and then after that it does some stuff. It basically push code there. And how I can prove this to you, right, is you can go back to GitHub right now and refresh the exact page that you're on. And you can see it only gives you instructions. We already did that. And you can see that we just pushed our code there, right? We have an exact copy of boilerplate on GitHub right now. We have so many copies of boilerplate on GitHub right now. And you can see, like, this our repository because we have the messages there. I'm a jQuery ninja, initial commit, blah blah blah. All good, everyone can see this page? Okay, so now it's quite okay, right? This is not too impressive yet. We made a repository somewhere, maybe in the United States, probably in China. Then we push code there, and now it's living there, right? I want you to do something now, something that you probably will never ever have to do, but I just have to make my point here. I want you to click on JS, and we have our files inside, as expected, jQuery.js, main.js. I want you to click on main.js, and we have our nice file inside, right? I need to click edit. Click edit, and you should see a nice text box appear with your code for you to edit. And what I want you to do now is at the bottom of the file, right, type I was here. Like what all tourists do when they visit new place. Anyway. Type I was here at the bottom. Okay? And what I want you to do now is at the bottom of the page, right? Scroll down, and there's this commit summary box here. This is basically where you will put your message, commit message. So type remote, type something like modified on GitHub. Wow. Right. This is basically the -m part of the commit. So we just change a file on GitHub, and it gives us this nice form to say, give me a message. So after that, click commit changes. Right, and then basically what Git does behind the scenes now is it takes your file, right? It adds it, it commits it with that message that you just added. And if you look at your file now, there was the I was here at the last line, right? This is the code on GitHub's server now, on GitHub's on some computer there, right? Not on our own computer. So if you go back to Sublime, and you go to main.js, you realize that there's nothing at the bottom, right? Because we only edited the file on GitHub, correct? And just now when we wanted to push code up there, we did git push, right? We had this repository there, and we wanted to get code up there, we did git push, right? So what do you think is the command for getting code back down? Git pull, right? And so let's do that on the command line. I want you to type git pull. Type git pull and hit enter. This basically says git go and pull code down from the remote that I told you about just now. Okay? And now if you go to Sublime and you look at main.js, right? I was here. This is quite cool, right? We basically edited code somewhere else, and then we pulled code down, and we have it here now. So you think about it, imagine the GitHub repository was your friend or some collaborator, right, on a project. And then he made changes, you make changes, you push code, you pull code, and basically you can collaborate on projects like that. Really cool. Like really easily. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to delete this because this is an error, right? This is an error. I was here, it's an error. So I want to delete that. I want to save the file. And I want you to go to the terminal, go to the command line. I'm sorry, I should stop doing it. And do git status. And because we deleted that line, the file is modified, right? So let's do the git workflow that we are used to. Git add dot git commit -m remove invalid line. Press enter. Sorry? So now I want you to do git log, just to show you the commit history. Now we have a pretty nice history, right? For 4 different commits, if I remember correctly. So do git log, and you can see that we have the 4 histories, right? Initial commit. Use your arrow buttons to go up and down. Initial commit, I'm a jQuery ninja, modified on GitHub while remove invalid line. Quite cool, right? And the third commit was made by Ducking Hipster. How cool is it? Anyway, so press Q to quit this screen. And I think this is a good time for a break, a 5 minutes break. Because we kind of have done quite a bit here. So to recap, right? We did we did this, which is pretty cool. We made a to-do list with our HTML page. We made our roadmap checkable, right? We can click on it to cross out stuff. Then we committed that. We pushed to a repository that is not on our own computer, to a remote repository on GitHub. We made changes there. We put down those changes, and we made more changes. Right? Everything was done without you having to, email your code to your friend, and then like see which line is different, copy that line and paste it into the file. All this was done transparently. You just did git push, git pull. It all happened for you for free, right? Okay, so now let's take a 5 minutes break, and when we come back, when we come back, we'll explore more on this.